Yeah. All right. Well, what's happening, good folks? Greetings, good evening. What's going on? I'm loving this topic, man. I'm feeling good. I hope I look good. I know I smell good. And it's going to be one of those shows where I know we are going to get some great entertainment, some good information, some real good game, and a whole lot of questions answered. It's your main man, Andy Brown, right here live on the Online Happy Hour, your host, your life coach, the author, and also the certified firearms instructor. Yeah, about to put that bang up in your life, baby, and just make sure that you learn more about what you already know. I'm feeling good. Shout out to my homegirl, Kimberly Smith. Yes, I'm about to be on some mess today because this has to be talked about. I love you. I thank you for making time. If you are just now tuning into the Online Happy Hour, welcome. Each and every Thursday night from 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we get live right here for about 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And we teach, we entertain, we enlighten, and we learn, and we love it. Yeah. Shout out to all my people who are buying their online Halloween costumes and outfits. Watching The Walking Dead just don't do it for you. You got to go ahead and dress up. I get it. Decorate your house, make the inside look very festive. Don't scare off your neighbors' children and their pets, but please keep it in good fashion and good taste. I know you got some stuff that you want to talk about and do with your decor, and it's that time. It's that festive season. It's a chili cook-off season. It's HBCU homecoming season. Definitely want to give some love and some care to my alma mater, Grambling State University. My folks had a good time this weekend and went through some trauma, and that's okay. We're going to work through that. I'm always here to help my alma mater any kind of way I can. And I'm going to prove that coming up in the next few months. So let's dive off into this topic. Tonight is going to be a good one. If I have not mentioned this topic, this show is actually brought to you by Feline Couture. Feline Couture is a clothing boutique and cosmetic brand based out of Atlanta, Georgia. For all things luxury and the ultimate in fashion persona, visit feline-couture.com. Again, feline-couture.com. It's where it is, ladies. If you can't spell couture, this probably isn't going to be the line for you, and I totally get that. But check it out, man. Good stuff on there. Tis the season to go ahead and buy online, do your shopping, and make it happen. So please subscribe to the channel, which is iLife Radio on YouTube. You can watch this in its entirety on the YouTube channel. But check it out. It's here on Facebook. Go ahead and start to share this link. Spread some love. Whatever you are doing while you're watching this show, post it in the chat. Let us know what you think. And off into it. So without further ado, you've seen this comment. You've seen this posted in the Online Happy Hour group. And I got some people who are going to give some good game and some good insight on this particular topic because we have all experienced this. So we're speaking from our own admission. We're speaking from our peers. So the disclaimer will go out here. The thoughts and ideas displayed on the Online Happy Hour do not reflect those who don't know what the hell that they're talking about. But what it does reflect are those who are people who understand, who want to give, who want to contribute to help someone in the need, who is ready to learn, to be enlightened, and to be educated on some real talk tonight. So without further ado, we're going to talk about tonight's topic, career versus marriage. Weigh the scale. Which one has more value and why? Yeah, my married folks, step on in. My single folks, step on in. My employed folks, step on in. Those who are in pursuit of their career, step on in. Those who are waiting for the ultimate marriage, step on in and get some of this. So speaking of stepping on in, Ladies first. You've heard this lady chime in several times and give some real good insight. Very well for more and back for more and back for more. The lovely lady with the fantastic glasses, D Major, the co-owner of SugarBabyCo.com, is representing on the online happy hour. Welcome, D. How you doing?
Hey,
Did I get it right this time? Cheers to you.
finally, God help you. And for the record, Halloween is my favorite holiday.
Is it
So don't
really?
talk crap about Halloween. I
It's not
love
about
Halloween,
that,
okay?
please. Let's go all infested. So yeah, let's do this for real. Also coming on to the online happy hour. If you've been around for many years and you know how we get down at other stations, DFWR Radio, TMI Radio, Blog Talk Radio. This brother's been my right hand man for quite some time. D, if you don't know, he comes with the truth, the laid back truth, and nothing but the truth. The resident doctor is once more again representing the building. I'm so glad he's here. JR's in the house. What's up, fam? How you doing?
Hey, what's good? What's good?
Good to see you, bro. JR, welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be seen instead of
Man,
viewed.
good to be seen and good to see you. How about
Yes,
that?
sir. Yeah, no
D,
doubt.
you in for a treat. It's 2-on-1 tonight.
How am I can't even see him. Sit up, JR. Join the conversation. Get in the
I am
light.
sitting up. I'm not.
You laying
I'm not
down. You laying down.
oh no,
Sit up.
I'm in a recliner. It's been a short
Okay,
day.
let us see. There you go. There you go. Let's see all the ball juiciness. Let's
good.
see all that.
Shout out to
I
y'all
like
ladies for coming in, man, and getting
Girl,
some of
don't be
this. My
playing with
family
my
in Kansas
emotional
City,
integrity.
my family in Dallas, Texas, my folks in California, my folks out there in New Orleans, and also, without a doubt, my folks in Petal, Mississippi. Y'all even know where Petal, Mississippi is?
Somewhere close to Kettle.
Keep the pot of black. Let's talk about this. Hey, Miss JoJo. What's up, Tyreke out there on stage doing his thing in the greater Kansas City area? The boy was in Dallas, didn't even come out of this boy. But listen, let's talk about this, y'all. This is a real subject. What made me spark this particular conversation is because there was a short film that's been circling around. It's a little older film, and I've been seeing movies alike, during this pandemic and uh, the times that we have down, we can watch more television, something I'm just now getting used to, right? And I had the pleasure to check out this film. It was very, very nice and eye-opening. And it made me think about some things about marriage, about careers, about life and lifestyles, what men want, what ladies want out of relationships. And is it about the money, the ring, the fame, the fortune, the family? What goes on? Career versus marriage. So we're going to talk about what that looks like, what choices we're making, what weighs greater and why, and even what pushes us to those decisions. So let's talk about that, career versus marriage. When we talk about that, ladies first, respond to me if you don't mind, D. When you hear career versus marriage, what's the first thing that popped to your mind when this topic came up?
for women or for
Mhm.
men
As a whole.
particularly. I think the first thing that comes to mind is value systems. What are your value systems? I
Value
think,
system.
yeah, I mean, I think it's important for us um, to have a lot of introspection and kind of discern where our value base is. If you're kind of a traditionalist and um, just the sense of having family, the togetherness of family, the experience of family, the community of family, if something like that is more important to you, then marriage probably ranks higher than career. But if you're somebody um, whose value system is rooted in, security, opportunity, access, privilege, uh, maybe if you're somebody who grew up impoverished and, you kind of felt very, very vulnerable in that arena, having more of a solid financial foundation may be more important to you. And, it depends on, what socioeconomic conditions kind of cultivated you and made you the person that you are, that kind of dictates your viewpoint on those type things, I think.
I can see that. I can see that, especially in today's society where we have the push to be successful first, right? Bring that success to the relationship. And also at the same time, I want to look at the fact that we got more people being laid off and the jobs aren't as plentiful or aren't out there as much. So what are we really shooting for? You know,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
really want to be a part of this or part of that. And
yeah.
one is going to leave you, and the other one we thinking that one may not leave us, and we want to stick to it a little bit closer. I
Yeah,
saw
I mean, we
you
see a
one back.
lot.
What you got there, bud? You got a Bud Light?
Oh yeah, I got one.
So what comes to your mind when you hear this topic, man? Career versus marriage. What's on your mind? What came to you the first time you heard about this?
I mean, it depends on what the person was doing when you met them.
Hmm.
And so, like I basically work. I work at two ends of spectrum of life, basically law enforcement and medical field. So
Mhm.
I usually always say if a guy meets a young lady and she's a police officer and they date, they fall in love, they get married. Now a little while after marriage, he's like, "Hey, baby, I think this job is too dangerous for you. I want you to quit." Well, he got to be out of his rabbit ass mind because she was doing this job when he met her. So if he had a problem with that, then he should have just stopped pursuing her. So I don't think she's going to give up her career, uh, just because he thinks it's dangerous. Because you never know what her aspirations is within moving up the chain in law enforcement. Because you can go from being a street cop to a detective to police chief on up to where you're not dealing with the day to day dangerous hazards out here on the street, but you're still overall officers. So I think something like that, um, I think the person is doing a losing battle. People that's dealing with a person that's going to med school, there's a lot of sacrifice in that.
Hmm. Okay.
So first of all, that person ain't gonna be home all the time. Okay, so there's no basic 9 to 5, 7 to 7. You don't get weekends off, none of that stuff. So if a person, like you were saying earlier, the traditional, that might not be the person for you.
Okay.
And
So do
so,
you think it's more or less the type of person that you're looking to marry and how that weighs in the type of career that you want to have?
yeah, because I mean, like you said, if a person is more traditional and they kind of like, hey, everybody's home by 6. I got dinner cooked. We sitting at the table. We got weekends off. We got holidays off. You might want to be, you might be looking for a school teacher, a banker, or you
Hmm.
know, somebody in the office that works for the state or the government or something like that. If you want that type of lifestyle. But now when you start dealing with you know firemen, law enforcement officers, medical, you're not gonna get that. And so you already know right off the bat what type of person you're looking for. So no matter how fine she is or he is and how well they treat you and yada yada, if you know that's not what you really want in a long term, then you need to just cut it at the beginning. Don't even pursue or allow that person to pursue you.
Hmm.
Because you're wasting your time, their time, you know, and then, it's just gonna be, tension and arguments and ain't nobody got time for that crap.
D got a smile on her face. What do you want to say to that?
Um, I think that, the question shouldn't even be, about career versus marriage. The principle,
Really?
the foundation should really be maturity. Um, because you can do both at the same time if two people that are solid in the mind come together. A really good example is, when I got married, I was just working kind of a job. I started school, but didn't finish school, but it was a passion of mine. And I was very clear about it, when I got married. And I remember, my ex-husband was extremely, extremely supportive. Like, he really thought, yes, you need to finish school, and I'm going to support that. We're going to do whatever we can. Now, when I started school, and I had to go to study groups with guys and things like that, all of those insecurities started coming out. When I had a midterm due and I didn't want to, hang out with him or do something because I had other things to do, that became a problem because the mentality was he should be the priority. Well, no, because this is something we agreed upon that we were going to do to progress our economy, right? Long term. A long-term strategic plan to enhance our economy as a team. So you have to be an adult and you have to be a secure man and you have to trust your decision, not even your wife. You have to trust your decision as a man and the woman that you chose to marry, that she can handle elevating herself and being in an environment where she's exposed to college educated men and study groups and things like that. And you cannot try to dictate things, but because you lack emotional maturity, you're not qualified to be a husband to a woman who you intended to push forward. But you can't push her forward with terms and conditions. You have to let her fly, and you have to trust your decision in the woman that you married. So that was an example of a lack of emotional maturity. And this happens often even with women. You can see a woman that can be a man's demise. I have a really, really good friend who is a high-powered attorney, partner in his firm, extremely successful. And he married what I believe is the ultimate dimwit of the world. And he gave her, the most lavish wedding ever. She got to be a woman of leisure, expense account, 15-story condo, resort condo that they were living in. She didn't have to work. And all he wanted her to do, she didn't want to work. She didn't want to do school. She didn't want to do anything. She was just a bum. And all he wanted was to have kids. Well, I don't really want to have kids. We can get puppies, like stupid bitch. Come on. And, she didn't want to do anything to elevate herself, and then would get mad because he's working 15-hour days because he's partner. Is bringing a significant income home, right? He doesn't bring any drama to the relationship. He spoils her rotten. And this twat, right? She's complaining because he doesn't make time for her. And then she had an affair on him with his friend. And was even using his expense accounts to go on trips with the dude. And then when he caught wind of it, she tried to stage an altercation knowing that he could get in trouble with the bar and lose his license. And she tried to stage an altercation to try to get him arrested for domestic violence. Just an ignorant, low-life bitch, right? So, I mean, it goes both ways, but shame on him for marrying that twatch. And for marrying a bum. You're not equally yoked. If you're a high-powered, high-value man, you need to go get yourself a equally high-value woman and stop trying to get these submissive dumbass doormats, because what you're getting is a dumbass, and that could work against you. If you're a king, you should never be intimidated by a queen at your side. Stop getting the goddamn bed wench to be at your side. You're stupid if you do that. And the same thing goes for a woman. And people have just got to establish some modicum, God damn it, just this much emotional maturity before you get in a relationship. And guess what? You literally can have it all. You can have it all. You can have career and marriage at the same goddamn time. Both of you go out there and hustle, come back, combine the economy, and nation build. Just stack.
Well, white people do it all the time. I agree with that 100%. Here's the issue with that. Before I even go on with that, Alexis says this, I've experienced the same thing. It was all good when I started out, but once my time was taken up, it was no bueno. That's fucking wrong. I'm sorry you had to go through that. But what I don't understand is you have all these, and maybe it's a select few. You talked about maturity. It's a select few that says, I want the man to take care of me, and I don't want to build anything. I just want him to bring everything back to me because that's what grandmama had. That's what the older generations had. Dad went out to work and granddad went out to do all this and brought the money back to take care of her and the family. So she wants reciprocity. She wants to go through the exact same thing, but doesn't want to help build. He pays the bills. He fronts everything. She might cook or may order out based on what he brings home. But for the most part, they want to be taken care of. JR, you had a comment?
Yeah, I think some women that think like that, they don't really know the true story of what their grandma really did, because what they fail to know is that granddaddy had a gambling problem, and all the bills didn't get paid on time. So grandma had to put a little something up every now and then in that coffee can that she told you that you couldn't touch. You see what I'm saying? Because that was that emergency money. See, they didn't tell you everything because you was too young to know, or it wasn't none of your business anyway. See what I'm saying? So for young women who think like that and they want what they, that was the outer shell, they want that type of lifestyle, but they don't really know the backstory. See, somebody had a drinking problem. Somebody had a gambling problem. Somebody didn't pay bills on time because shit was getting cut off. So grandma had to put a little something up so everything can stay on.
Have y'all ever heard the saying, the man is the head and the woman is the neck?
I ain't never
and there's something very, and to your point, right? Like there's something very powerful in that statement, because since the beginning of time, what men seem to struggle with is that women want power. And a lot of times men are intimidated by a woman who has power. But we want power, but we also want you too. See, and that's where the conflict occurs, because men have put a standard on relationships that a woman cannot be powerful and be with a man. A man feels that the way that he exerts power, it feels to us women, is via control. And instead of partnership, because what we want is partnership. What we want is for you to see our capability and understand our strength, value that, and put that shit to work. Not be a lazy ass, bum ass Negro that's mooching off of us. We want you to match that energy. We want power. We want to share power with our men. But men seem like, especially Black men, and perhaps that's because of a lot of historical context that comes with being Black men. There's a lot of trauma that goes into it. But we have always wanted power, and we have always wanted you men. And we just want to figure out the way to marry those two worlds. We're not in it to emasculate you or detract from you. We're in it to build and to breathe life into you. We don't bear you men into the world to take anything from you. But a lot of times it seems like we don't get that same respect back from men. And I've heard it a lot. I hear all these steps on what men want from women. And you hear people like Kevin Samuels who kind of, tell women to subdue themselves, or you're not going to get a man. And I always challenge that, because my logic is, if I have to be less than I am, are you really the man I want? Because I can't live a farce.
You know what? And okay, I like the point that you're bringing up. But along with that power has to be some control. What do I mean by that? That control, dare I say it, JR, they got to watch their motherfucking mouths.
That's true.
But I just said that we don't want to emasculate
power back to the house, and you talk to your man like he's an employee. That's not what I'm willing to accomplish.
That's emotional maturity, though. We're talking about emotional maturity. So that's on you just as much as it's on her, because you got to watch who you pick. You can't pick like my friend who picked the nitwit, right? Like, you can't pick a nitwit. So if you're chasing ass, if you're going after it because she got a nice booty or whatever materialistic aspect that drew you in, you now have to vet the quality. You know, there should be trials and tribulations that lead into especially a marriage. And, you know, a woman can be powerful and control herself just as much as a man can be powerful and control himself. And really what that control is, it's not control, it's respect. It's mutual respect. I'm a very dominant, powerful woman, but I can also, you know, when I was married, I was never the one to cuss my husband out. I was more of a, I don't like that. I was just very direct. I don't appreciate that. I need for you to fix that. You know, it wasn't a motherfucker. Who the fuck do you think you are? You kiss, and I don't need you, and none of that. Never call my husband a bitch. You know, you don't speak to your man that way. You have respect.
That's the extreme. Now, we talk about that single woman, and you got a comment, JR? Because I'm going to go there. And
well, I mean, she has some good points, but at the same time, okay, you have the powerful woman. She has to know when to turn it off when she comes home. And here's the thing: regardless of who makes the money, right? If this man gets up, works, pays bills, helps take care of the kids, the house, or whatever, he is still the head of the house. And so
what is she if she does the same thing?
No.
Here we go.
Listen to what I'm
Here
saying.
we go. Right.
Listen, when it's done right, no one's saying that the things that the woman contributes and also help pays bill and all these things, that she's not important. But when it's done right and by the book, she is not the head of the house. Now, I didn't make that up. That's in the book.
In what book? The Bible?
The Bible. So
okay,
that's all.
We're assuming that everything that we've been taught and bred by the Bible is accurate. So making that assumption, but how logical does that sound, right? Like, just listen to what you're saying. How logical is that?
I'm not taking nothing away or downplaying anything a woman does. If she makes the most money in the house, that's great, right? Because when you come back to the house, you all are a partnership.
Partner, exactly.
Right.
That's the key word. Partner.
That's all I'm saying. But still, and yes.
Not subordinate.
No. Not subordinate. But see, that's the thing about some powerful women. They sometimes have a little issue about turning that off because they so used to being, the dominant one in the workplace and delegating things, right? She has to kind of tone down when she come home because you're not in the workplace. You're home now. You're the wife. You're the mother. You're not the CEO anymore. It's after 7. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Some women has an issue with kind of balancing that.
I agree with you.
And so when they talk to their man, it's coming off as, delegation and telling you what to do. We're not talking as, partners, as a couple.
I agree.
He is still the head of the house.
I totally agree, but let me ask a question.
I'm saying about that.
I'm not downplaying
anything she's saying.
I actually agree with what you're saying, and I've witnessed it, right? Like I've witnessed women who, what you're describing, emasculate men. Right. So I witnessed this, and I don't like to see that, right? Because I feel that men are a dying breed, and so we definitely don't want to murder that the mentality of manhood out. But what do men turn off when they come home is my question, because see, it seems like the burden is always on women to adapt their behaviors and their personalities. And then men seem to just feel like they can just stay this one note at all times. And that's where the trauma and the drama comes in, because I know, being a woman and fellowshipping with other women, we really get sick and tired of having our men treat us as if we are subordinate to them when we go out there and we work just as hard to contribute into the household, but yet men seem to think that the final decision lays on them, but it really doesn't, because the burden of those decisions don't lay on you. When you go out there and you make a bad financial choice, or you commit adultery, or you're disrespectful to your wife, if you cannot submit to your relationship, because there are a lot of men who do not submit to their relationships for as much as they indict women of this. And so a woman cannot, like when you were talking about grandma who was dealing with the drunk husband, she was having to acorn money in a cookie jar underneath the mattress. Why did she have to put up with a drunk piece of crap husband who didn't respect her? It has to be a two-way street. If a man wants that woman who can turn it off when she comes home from being the one in charge, then you have to make that then in response worth our while. The way that we are treated and spoken to and respected has to be at a high level. I have to know that when my husband says he's going to the barbershop, that's where he's going. He's not going to some hoe's house. I have to know that my husband is not drinking and squandering away money.
If you go to the barbershop and then go to the hoe's house? Is that okay?
Then he's just as bad.
But he went to the barbershop.
But he went to the barbershop.
Doesn't matter. It has to be mutual. It has to be mutual.
He didn't stay long. He just did a drive-by. He stayed in the car. He
stayed his appointment.
You see this?
I couldn't resist.
A lot of this has to stem from
I couldn't resist it. He
Yeah,
didn't lie to you. He didn't lie. He went to the barbershop.
He didn't lie. He went to schedule his
He didn't
appointment.
lie.
Okay, well, the half truths.
Okay.
I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to say this. As a woman, I have seen a lot of submissive women in my life. And those women look like lost souls. They look very undervalued. They look very disrespected. I've seen husbands all out in the street doing every goddamn thing. And the woman's at home looking like Ella Mae from Little House on the Prairie. And his ass is out doing the most. And I've seen this too many times. And there's a stigma in a lot of us women that we are very adverse to that. We can't just sit here and be good little wife and let you run amok. And then you find some new chick and we're screwed because we were sitting at home doing what we were supposed to do. It just doesn't work like that. It has to be mutual. So you guys need to submit to your relationships as much as we do.
Why do we have so much energy toward him leaving the relationship
because men have their pick. Women don't. Even statistically, that's been proven, especially for Black women. We are slim pickings. It's a higher possibility that a Black woman will live and die a single woman than it is that she will get married. It is not the same for men. And especially Black women who choose to be with Black men and are not willing to export and be in interracial relationships. But Black women are the least desirable women when it comes to marriage, but we're the most sought after when it comes to impregnating, fucking, and doing everything else. And so as Black women, we have to kind of function with that almost fear in the background that you guys are slim pickings. You have your pick. If you go to the gas station, it's some big booty butt shot hoe that's throwing it in your face. We know that it's slim picking for us when it comes to choosing. It's like all you can eat buffet for you men.
That's true. This is absolutely.
So we want to see your sacrifice towards us. We want to know it's hard for us to let our guard down if we don't make you chase us. Why? Because when we consider ourselves a high value woman, we want to know that you value us.
Hold that thought. That same energy that women want brought to men, flip-flop that thing. The energy that women give on their resume, right? That they give for their job and their position in their career. They're seeking and they're going after the ultimate goal to be Madam CEO, Madam President, the business owner, the entrepreneur, the heir to the law firm, wherever they want to go, whatever position they're holding for their career. Why not look to build that same resume in a relationship? Do women feel as if the job and the career is more stable than the man?
You literally took the words. Andy, I could kiss you. You took the words out of my mouth. Hell yeah.
Seriously.
Hell yeah. I'm a divorcee. I'm a single woman. If I were in a relationship right now and a career opportunity came up at the same time as a proposal, I'm betting on me before I bet on him. Because see, that career opportunity was something that I created and I built for myself. This is my hard work starting to pay off. And the one person that I can trust in that relationship at all times, I can trust their intentions, I can trust their motivations, is me. So I can't, I can't imagine. There are a lot of women who get caught up in that love drug, and we make sacrifices. I have done it in the past. I have held myself back thinking that a relationship was going to lead down a certain road. And with the flick of a switch, a man can completely change his mind and just rip the rug out under you, because you're banking your life decisions, your life trajectory off of something that could be very unstable and a loose cannon.
Watch
so
this.
I'm going to bet on me.
JR, let me ask this question. So with the job market the way it is and jobs decreasing, right? Unemployment rates are high. Is the playing field not the same? You can put that same energy there to a job that may not be there tomorrow. Because in most states, jobs are at will termination. They can let you go just because they felt like it.
Well, yeah, I think, if you're in the right to work state, like I'm from, they ain't got to give you no reason.
And neither does a man. Oh, come on, guys. Let me tell you something. If I have a job and I've established a career for myself, even if my company fired me right now, I can get unemployment. I have a pension I can draw from. I have a 401k. God help me. I hope people are setting up savings or other sources of income. That's totally different than getting in a relationship and submitting to some man that sets some freaking standard that he can now alter at the flick of a switch. I hear it right now. There's a woman on TV that's talking about her divorce from her husband, where they had multiple properties and all kinds of crap in her name that she never even knew about. All of her paychecks went straight to him. He controlled the money. And at the flick of a dime, her entire world is just pulled out from under her. Women, we have learned from those mistakes. We can't do that anymore. We can't be foolish.
Right. She didn't read the paperwork.
Who told her I got to give him my whole paycheck?
But that's my point, is that when you're in relationships with these men who want to be the head of the household, perhaps you would be a more reasonable husband, right? Like maybe you would be that husband that would say, that's dumb, handle your own money, or let's have our joint account and then let's have two separate accounts and commit to a percentage of our salary or something like that. But I have seen it countless times again where women are trying to submit. They're trying to be in these traditional type relationships with the wrong damn men who are opportunists, abusing, disrespectful, lousy pieces of shit while we're sitting at home with our legs closed, cleaning house, cooking, sucking, and fucking, and raising the kids. And these men are out here doing the utmost bullshit to us. And then the rug gets pulled out of us. The hoe calls us while we're at home. I'm sleeping with your man and I'm not going to stop. It happens way too often. And when it happens to you men, you can pivot a hell of a lot faster and go get yourself a whole new wife than we can, especially lagging around babies and everything else that you guys often leave us saddled with. And at the end of the day, we have gotten to the point as women where we have a lot of defenses. We're like a goddamn video game. You have to go through multiple levels to get to us, because we're tired of the shit that you guys bring to us. And so it's just become, it's like the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results with you men. So we have learned to put ourselves first, to empower ourselves, to be powerful on our own so that you can never take anything from us. Nothing.
Okay. All right.
I don't have a problem with none of that. I mean, we just screwed up a lot. I get it. Some women, got to do what they got to do to make it. Choose the career. That's great. I ain't got no problem with none of that. Nothing.
I just really like him. Listen, he is so damn chill. I just can't get over I can't get over him laying down.
I'm telling you, this is the place to
get you. I want you to hustle. I want you to go get yours and all this stuff. I don't want your paycheck. I don't even want to know how much money you make. I don't give a damn about that.
You are very different.
I am. Listen, let me tell you, the older I get, the more open and the more free I get. it's just a lot of shit. I just really don't care. I don't care for it. If we
Well,
a partner,
okay. Well, hold on. I gotta go back to the comments because folks are chiming in on this. Adrian says this, and I think this really means something here. If you can't trust your partner, you don't need to be together. I think trust is a major player in this. Because if you're gonna
You
take
can trust your partner, but you can't be stupid. Come on now.
what is that about? What is stupid about?
You have to have contingency set up, because at the end of the day, you're two individual human beings and you have a whole different set of circumstances that can make you act and react to things in different ways. And I think we're foolish to have blind faith in anything other than God. If you have blind faith in your partner, there's something psychologically wrong with you. You're a fool and you're waiting for the shit to happen.
Do you not have blind faith going into that occupation?
Of course you don't have blind faith going into an occupation. Who has blind faith at their job?
People do that.
Oh, they're stupid. Again, it's an emotional maturity thing. I mean, come on. This world is really, it's really simple, people. It's just have some damn common sense.
So here's this. Adrian says this also, and I like the way he put this. You can't go into a relationship with negative thinking. Seems like the man is guilty until proven innocent, and you can't judge a man based on your past experience and other people's experiences.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? The guy who robs your house is innocent until he does it too. Let me tell you something. You don't walk around with your house wide open. You don't leave your car unlocked, but I'm supposed to leave my spirit wide open to some motherfucker to come in there and ravage me to death and then find out after the fact that he's a piece of shit. No, that's stupid. Come on. And it's always this patriarchal conversation where men are telling women, don't judge them from our past. If you live in a neighborhood and your house keeps getting robbed, do you not get a security system? Or do you say, oh, I trust my new neighbor. They're probably not a robber like the last one. Come on. Let's use some common sense here. Okay. We all know the game. No. I want you to talk because I love listening. You crack me up.
No, I'm just saying. Listen, a lot of people that get in relationships. First of all, they probably not done with the past relationship in the first place. So, yeah, and what I mean by that is that they just didn't have time to be with self, to deal with self, because you're not the same person you were when you met him and her.
That's a good point.
And how long that relationship lasts. So when you're done, when that relationship is done, you need to really spend time with self to learn about self.
Very true.
So when you meet that next person, you can actually reintroduce yourself to that new person. But
yes, and hopefully be more discerning.
Right. A lot of people are going from relationship to relationship, and there's not really enough time with self before they get into another. So, of course, they bring in, all that excess baggage, and then as soon as the one person, they halfway breathe wrong, or they went to briefs to boxers or some shit like that, then they think the person's cheating, or the nigga didn't came home 30 minutes later, anything. They think he's doing the same thing that the past person did.
That's true.
Not necessarily the case, but they gonna bring that with them and those insecurities into the new one because they ain't dealt with the issues from the past. And
I think that's true.
And that ain't fair. And that goes both ways.
Yes.
That goes both ways. So,
yes,
for people that are or that have ended relationships, take some time. It's about to be holiday. Don't need to be trying to really date nobody till next year.
I agree with everything. Yeah, I agree with everything that he just said, but I just still also think I think that's so true that it's that you have to stop and you have to download what happened to you, but then you also have to learn from it. And I promise you, when if I have my little cute little house in the bad neighborhood and it gets robbed all the time, I might move on up to a nicer neighborhood and a more expensive house. But guess what? I'm still going to secure it because I still know that there's danger out there. And I still think as single women, and especially for Black women in this country, where society is very predatory against us, we have to have defense systems in place to vet people. And I think that even when you're going for a job and you get interviewed, that's a vetting process. When you're trying to get drafted into the NFL, there's a vetting process. I mean, in everything there should be a vetting process. And I do believe that women, especially in dating, I don't think that we should walk into dating relationships open. I think that we should walk into dating relationships guarded. And I think that we should let you, by our experience with you, remove layers of inhibitions. I'm not saying we should walk into relationships with baggage, because there's a difference between being guarded and carrying a bunch of baggage. I'm not saying that we should convict you of past people's crimes, but I do think that we should have a bit of discernment when we're engaging with men. A lot of times women get fooled by married men or men who are in, other relationships, and men present themselves as truly, truly single. And we believe you. And then when it comes out that you actually had a woman, we're perceived as the home wrecking whore. And it's really because the motherfucker lied. But we were open.
But did you ask the right question?
Did you ask?
Sure. You know what? I'm going to give you a personal experience. I met a guy once.
It wasn't me, was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
But he was bald too. That's why I hate y'all. But let me say this. Okay? Let me say, that's why a bald head is a motherfucking red flag right now. But I'm just when I met this brother, right? I thought I was being an intelligent person, and I asked him all the golden questions first time. And I went layers with the question, like I said, are you married? Nope. Are you divorced? Yep. How long you been divorced? 2 years. Do you have a girlfriend? Nope. Do you have a woman that you sleep with that might think she's your girlfriend? Nope.
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
I asked because I'm an investigator by profession. So, it's my job to sniff out the lie in people. But, I did everything short of an actual background check. Right. And after I started dating him for several months, and once the situation became intimate, guess what happened? Through a fluke. He wasn't married, but he had a long-term girlfriend that lived in another state. And only because she flew into town, they were living out of state, she flew into town, and a friend of mine saw him with her. A coworker saw him with her and was talking to a friend about him because he was a handsome guy. And they said, "Oh, I saw him with his girlfriend." And she said, "Yeah, he's dating my girl." No, not your girl, it was another girl. And that's how I found out. And he just straight up lied. And it almost makes you feel like you have to do a full background, like you literally have to hire a PI or something to find out the truth, because men lie like that. They just lie. And when I confronted
resumes to get jobs.
But when I confronted this brother and said, "You see me, I'm a mom, I'm a hardworking woman, I'm not some loose ass hoe out here. Why would you pursue me knowing that you're lying and knowing that I wasn't interested in any bullshit like that? Because I confronted you day one, first date." And he said, "I was just selfish. I just wanted what I wanted."
Well, you can't be mad about the honesty.
I can be mad about the honesty because I was honest about what I wasn't willing. I could be mad about the delayed honesty because it wasn't honest when I first asked.
Right. I mean, it's fucked up, but nigga was honest when you
But this was a situation where I went into something guarded. I tried to ask, probing questions to get answers. I was satisfied with what I thought were honest answers because I was being open. I wasn't feeding off of my past experience, which is all men lie, all men cheat, right? It was, no, this is a grown ass man. He has no reason to pursue me and to lie to me.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. If the brother would have said, "Look, I got a friend, we see each other, she live out of state, that's what it is. But currently here in this city, this metro that we're in, I really ain't got nobody."
Right.
So would that have been okay? Would that have been okay?
Because you had what he needed.
And you all would have still dated?
That would have been
like, no.
I think it maybe at that time in my life, it might have been okay if he was honest, because then I wouldn't have been so committed. Like, I would have been open to dating other people too.
Right.
I would have dated him and gotten to know him. I wouldn't have just kiboshed him, because I feel like she's not your wife and I don't owe her shit. Right. Okay. But I wouldn't have been as open, right, had I known, that there was somebody else out there. Right. I would have wanted to make sure that I knew that I was his choice before, I went further with it. So I feel like when men lie, they take our right to choose away, to make educated decisions away. So I think, I would have dated other guys. I would have been open to other people, because, I'm a ride or die kind of chick. If I like you, I'm gonna lock in.
Okay, so let me ask you, I'm glad you said that. So here's my thing. Even if you like somebody and you all click, right? Why would you just continuously focus on that one person, right? Because dating is about gathering information, right? So why wouldn't you continue to see other people at the same time? Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Of course, it really goes to what you said, right? You said, had he told me the truth, I would have been, I wouldn't have been completely shut off, but I would have continued to date other people. But
so why didn't you do that anyway?
Because in that initial conversation, the conversation was, I like you. Do you like me? Yes. Okay. What's your agenda? Well, he even said, I'm looking for the one. I'm looking for this long-term thing. And look, I'm a single mom. I don't have time for the bullshit. So what's up? Let's
ask you those same questions?
Yes, he did. And I said, there's nobody, nothing, no boyfriend, no dick in the glass jar guy, none of that. So,
but after that follow, did you say, hey, I want us to be exclusive?
I didn't say that until it got to the point of intimacy. It wasn't intimate at the first, date, but it was just, hey, I need to understand where your head is at in your pursuit of me, because I think I have the right to know that. And when it got to the point of intimacy, then there was a conversation about monogamy, because that's the one thing I don't want a dude sticking his dick in one chick and then coming to me and sticking it, or that's nasty. I don't do that. So yes, the expectation is that this is monogamous.
But so even liking that to a job, right? We're talking about career versus marriage. Even in liking that to a job, you have expectations and you have certain guidelines, because you know what the position, no pun intended, the outlines for what that particular job entails, right? You get all that outlined up front, and along the way, your job requirements and your title and your position may change here and there. Do you go back to your job and say, I didn't sign up for this shit? This isn't what you told me?
But yes, you can. Yes, you know why? And I'm gonna tell you why. And you know what? I have actually coached peers on how to do this. When you go and you apply for a job, right? They give you a job description, a job classification, a job category. If somebody is asking you to do something outside of that description in that category, yes, you should push back. You should say, this is not my job description. This is not what you hired me to do. Now, you should be able to go and do that. I have done that successfully. I have pushed back, and that's not insubordination, because you're asking me to do something outside of the description of my job. And there are all kinds of concerns that come with that, including ethical ones. So yes, you should push back. People have got to stop being so sheepish and just going along with things. One of the things that I learned from that experience that I just gave you guys about the guy who was the grotesque liar was to have all of my own shit set up so that I'm never devastated by a bomb that a man drops again. So that's why a woman like me puts career before marriage, because I'm never going to be in a position again where I'm so vulnerable that a bomb can be dropped on me and devastate me emotionally, financially, or any other way where I'm committing to someone who is a liar and a fake. Now, to me, that is being smart.
Yeah, but you're going in with the anticipation that the lying is going to happen. It's like having life insurance.
It's like having health insurance. It's like having car insurance. You don't know that you're going to get in an accident, but if you do, in everything that we do as people, we have, if your house burnt down and you didn't have homeowners insurance, people think you're foolish for that. How could you have a house and not insure it? I mean, we've got to stop
but insurance and going into it with a negative mindset, with the expectation that it's going to burn down.
It's not a negative. You're listening to Thai Food Panda. That is not having a negative mindset. That is being smart. That's called setting things up, having contingencies set up to protect yourself. There's nothing wrong with building protections around yourself.
Sean That's smart. In reference to what you were saying, JR, about the holiday season, Sean says start dating back February 16th. You got to get that extra day to just kind of live off.
That's true. Be single through the holidays.
No baggage, but guarded. That doesn't make sense. Sean says, my favorite question is, are you in a relationship? Is someone in a relationship with you? Which is a very good question to ask. Tafu also says, you make us lie. Women, that is.
Why do women make men lie?
Because we want it all.
Because being selfish.
Listen,
so then that validates what I said is that men are liars.
No. Sean says this. Women, I guess she says women go wrong for being ride or die before hold on. Women, we go wrong, ride or die before we know he's working.
Yes. Who said that?
That was Sean.
Because they get digmatized.
Yes, tell Sean I'm with her on that. And you're right. Women do get digmatized.
I thought she said oxtails is an evil bitch, but she didn't say that. She said Lord. I don't even know what this word is. Let me just not even read it because I'm just having it could be the Jameson, it could be something else, it could be my vision. I need to go back to the eye doctor myself because you two are wearing glasses and I don't have mine on. So
but you know what, Andy? I don't know if the viewers remember in an earlier podcast, we talked about my male best friend who married a woman, had celibate dating, did all of that, and told her that he would be willing to, remember, I told you about the guy who didn't have any children of his own, but his ex-wife had children, and he kind of, adopted he didn't legally adopt, but he started to call these kids his kids, even though they're grown. And when he met this new woman, she let him know, I really don't like the connections that you have with the ex-wife and with these kids who are not even your kids and were pretty much grown when you even married their mom. And I don't like the way you, try to act, as if they're dad. She was very honest in the dating stage. She also said that I don't want to date and have sex before marriage. And he agreed to all of that, including ending the relationship with, I see you, wanting to end the relationship. He agreed to backing off the relationship with these kids. And then when they got married, he flipped the script. And his mentality was, I wanted to show her that I could follow and give her her way. And then when we got married, I would, step in and lead. And I told him, no, you false advertised to her.
That's true.
And then when their relationship fell apart, she's the problem because she's combative. She's jealous. She's territorial. No, she told you what her terms and conditions were. You lied.
He was wrong.
You married her. And then you tried to flip the script and you got exactly what you deserve. And now he's going on divorce number 4, Right.
See, my thing would have been, if you got and here's the deal, I claim kids that I did not biologically bring in this world, right? So if you got a problem with that and my biological kids, well, we don't need to go no further.
Exactly.
Because that's non-negotiable.
Exactly.
Was here way before your ass was thought of.
Yeah. And I'm very honest with it. I told him, I said, you're a liar. You lied. But no, I had good intentions and I loved her and I wanted her to know. You lied. You're a liar.
I wanted to hit that ass. That's all I wanted to do.
And now you've traumatized this woman.
And I think a lot of the times we're really not communicating the message that we want to bring to the job front, right? For the career. We have the expectation it's going to work out. We put in the hard work early up front. And if it pays out, and you'll be successful on the back end. A lot of us don't do that with our relationships and our dating experience. We're going to go through a few rocky times and a few rough patches, and then want to get out of it because it's rough. But the long hours you put into the job and your career, you don't complain about that and you won't quit that, but you'll end up quitting first easily because you feel as if you're going to get back more.
Yeah. And can I just point out one thing, though, about a job, a big difference? Most people, I'm not saying not everybody, right? Most people don't lie when they're applying for a job. They don't lie.
Hell, I tell them I'm a damn brain surgeon.
When you give your resume and you give your credentials, these are all verifiable things. So I would hope that people don't lie and say that I'm a nuclear physicist when you only have, a high school diploma, So you go into this knowing that they might vet you. They might do a background check. They're going to verify your credentials, right? So you don't lie. So hopefully. In most professional, not lower grade type situations, but professional circumstances, you go into your career being honest about who you are.
You go into a relationship being honest who you are.
But no, I just gave you examples of people who lied about exactly who they are going to relationships. People lie about relationships, and yet women, as particularly when they vet you, when they investigate into that, then they're being accused of carrying baggage, like Kung Fu Panda over here, saying that, we're carrying baggage into the relationship or all of these ridiculous things. And that's dumb logic, Kung Fu Panda. That's stupid. Okay. We have to be smart. Okay. Kung Fu Panda, a child. We have to be smart. Okay.
But I think a lot of people think, when they get married and if people are already working in their careers and they get married, things happen. And then you might not be doing that career anymore. You have to do something else. So, marriage is not, the dress, the wedding, the reception and all this. Marriage is working long hours and taking care of the kids and paying the bills and trying to negotiate and trying not to kill each other. When the other one's asleep and the other one's up, you be like, I ought to just smother this nigga right now. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Did you say smother?
This is
like
marriage.
Kill her to the face.
This is marriage, but marriage is also this commitment two people made is also about working through all of that and hanging in there all at the same time.
I love what you said because I went through that. I wanted to smother my husband.
I'm just saying, you wake up and you had a good dream and you wake up and look over and be like, this nigga's still here?
You know what? And that's where the emotional maturity part comes into it, is that, it's one thing if your marriage goes through trials and tribulations. I just think it's important to be honest and respect your partner.
If you're going to be honest, right? If you're going to be honest,
I think
be honest and be completely honest with that. But you gotta think about it. What he said about lying, I'm not really gonna say lying. You gotta I had to think about this, even on resumes, right? You kind of have to tailor and fluff it a little bit because you want to stand out amongst other people. It's really
you shouldn't lie. I mean,
listen,
an adjective and a lie are two different things.
On your resume, and I know we got to wrap the show up in just a few minutes. If you say on your resume, all I did at my job was fuck around and take about 10 or 20 breaks, but I know everything that the boss be doing, that's not meaning I'm not gonna hire that person.
You have using the right adjective to describe yourself is not a lie. You can tell the truth.
You can tell the truth. But
you can word that. You can word that scenario in a truthful way.
Why do you want to work here, young man? Well, generally what I like to do is I like to move forward and I like to get in the right opportunities that are going to enhance my profession so I can move into the right career and advance my further promotion into a community and growing company. That's what what you really meant was them motherfuckers over there was tripping. I didn't like my boss, and I kind of wanted to be in a better job. If I would have stayed there another week, I was gonna knock somebody the fuck out. That ain't what you want to say.
You're just saying all of that in a creative way. That's all. That's called creative writing. That's not lying.
Be like me and my boss just didn't see eye to eye on a lot.
So take that to heart. So as we wrap this up, what do you think, Jr.? Let me ask you first. Career or marriage? What's most important to you?
Well, it's definitely going to be career because, you know what I do, Andy, and I travel all over this country doing what I do, and my hours are long. And so a woman that deals with me got to be understanding about that, and you can't deal with that, you can't deal with me. So
Righteous.
I'm always going to do career first. So, you know, the right person in the right relationship, it'll be there. But
Love it.
if you think we're going to, to the mall and vacations all the damn time, I'm not the brother. But I pay
Yeah.
the bills. I pay all the bills. You ain't got to worry about no heat in the winter and no air in the summer. I got all that taken care of. But
Righteous. I
somebody got
love
to
it.
go do it. So
JR says the career. And I thank you, man. Always welcome here on the Online Happy Hour. Come back anytime and enjoy yourself, brother.
appreciate it, my brother.
Peace. Oh, snap. We got it. Sorry about that. So as we wrap up career versus marriage, do you kind of give us where do you think about this? Where's your take? Career or marriage?
I say pick the right person and do both.
Do both?
Yep.
It's possible. We got a lot of entrepreneurs out there. We got a lot of people who want to move the corporate ladder, and I think that they have to flip the coin and just spin both sides of the coin and just use it the right
If
way.
I had to flip a coin, then I would choose career because I know that I can always take care of myself. I know that I will always do what I think is right by myself. I'll never betray myself or leave myself in a lurch.
Dig it. Dig it. Real comment, real talking. But I really appreciate you. Thank you once again, as always. You rock the house, and you can continue to do what you do. SugarBabyCo.com. Represent. Definitely love with the insight that she had to bring. You heard what JR had to say, folks. You heard what D Major had to say. And you got to think about it. You got to weigh the odds for yourself. Which is more important to you? Your marriage, your relationship that you're building with somebody else, or the portfolio that you're bringing to your level of career, to the kind of job and lifestyle that you want to live? Is it better to do it by yourself or to bring somebody else into your lifestyle to help you edify the goals and the opportunities that you want to achieve on your own? So we got some decisions to make. It's not as easy as we thought. We got to iron out a few curves and there's hills to make it matter. But what I will say is that it's a good thing that we do have options and we have people in the right place, in the right position to help you iron out what we feel is going to be best for you. So signing off, as always, what I want to thank my family and my friends for tuning in. As always, you make the show what it is. And if you got some good game out of this particular broadcast, please do us a favor, man. Share this link, share this page, share this channel with somebody that can really get some good insight and tune in next week as we give you another wonderful topic. On behalf of my family, on behalf of my frat, on behalf of my friends, I want to say thank you. Good night. You're awesome. Please continue to log in, listen and learn, and always, folks, get home safe. My name is Andy Brown. I'm your life coach, your host. I'm saying I love you. Peace. And I'll see you next week right here on the Online Happy Hour. I'm gone. Happy hour.